Hi there, that's right. This is first thing in the morning on the 3rd of August, year of our Lord 2011, and you've got the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time for another delightful and amazing tarot show. Very quick announcement, I'm intending to take this tarot show onto live internet radio pretty soon. Okay, so stay subscribed, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a little advert, a little video on YouTube saying, you know, when the show is going to be and all the rest of that, so you can get your ass to Blog Talk Radio, to my Nick Dutch Tarot channel on Blog Talk Radio, and we can start doing proper live call-in shows, little half-hour slots here and there, so that you can actually get some of the wonderful services that I'm providing absolutely live. And you can see the way that it would be when you call. Remember, I'm available on Keen.com, I'm available on LivePerson.com in the early mornings in US time, which is of course the afternoons UK time. For those of you who would normally call on the Kumar.co.uk service, then I would normally be available in the mornings and sometimes in the evenings on that particular service. So take that into account, bear that in mind, and yeah, we're going to go live. And on top of that, I also do some broadcasts on the absolutely fantastic Blog TV service. So what I'd suggest you do is you go to Blog TV, the Nick Dutch Tarot channel on Blog TV, and subscribe and follow that particular channel so that you yourself can get notifications as to when I'm going live. The last one I did a lot of great live tarot readings, and to be honest, I actually had a wonderful time. So I'm going to be doing an awful lot more live work, as well as of course this pre-recorded YouTube or internet video show as well. So take that into account. Now, without further ado, we're going to crack on with the first few readings of today. Now, if you want to submit a request, there's one great way of doing so, and that's by email. And it's quite simply nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and that's the main method I'm going to be choosing, because essentially I want this particular show to go out on Daily Motion, as well as YouTube, as well as Blip TV, and probably a few other services as well. So essentially just having one singular place where I can take all inquiries is much more convenient for me than just saying it doesn't matter which particular service you're watching this on, just send through a private message on that one particular service. Remember, not in the comment section, naughty, naughty, naughty. Okay, we've been having a few of those recently, and that really doesn't help matters all that much. Okay, send it through via private message or via email. Okay, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and I'll be delighted to help. Okay, on with the first reading of today. Okay, Ashika, great of you to inquire again. Yes, I do allow repeat inquiries from inquirers. So yeah, I'm delighted to help you here. If there's one particular person you're thinking of who lives abroad and you want to see whether you'll be able to see them, so let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading is saying about your abilities and opportunities to establish some kind of connection with them. Still using the delightful, amazing, very well illustrated, beautiful Book of Thoth Tarot for today's show. Here we go. I want to start collecting more, more tarot packs, but we'll just stick with this one for the moment. And actually, as you can see, this one's getting a little on the old side, so I must update my Book of Thoth Tarot so that it can start looking better, when I'm working on the camera, and it'll also be easier for me to deal with when I'm actually working live over the telephone and over the internet. Right. Okay, well, what energies have we got surrounding yourself and this friend of yours? Firstly, they're still your friend. We've got signs suggesting a feeling of friendship bond. They themselves feel lonely and isolated at the moment, and it does appear to me that they are still thinking about you and still thinking, wouldn't it be better if, or wouldn't life be better if, and so on and so forth. So on the basis that you do get that opportunity to be able to make communication, I think it's going to be a wonderful time together, and you're going to have a great time. So essentially, that's suggesting that in the here and now, there's some good signs for something good to occur once the communication and connection is starting to manifest itself. Now, on your side of the reading, very similar signs, but essentially, as you mentioned in your message, you find it difficult to be able to make contact and communication. But you've also got a lot on your plate in the here and now. For the moment, you still need to focus in on material things. You've got material signs there, and keep yourself nice and stable. Now, as far as is that opportunity to be able to be friendly with this person and connect with them actually going to happen further on down the line? I think so. although we don't have signs which are talking about like a massive celebratory moment, or that, a moment of ecstasy of being in, the right place at the right time and all that kind of cool stuff. We don't have that. But we do have signs which are suggesting like social interaction, being together, having fun together, and all that kind of like jazz, basically speaking. In this particular case, the aspects of the moon card is actually talking about being together with people and enjoying everything on a very deep level, a psychological level, as well as a feeling of companionship. So it's something you've been dreaming about and aspiring towards, but it's not the message of the star card saying it's definitely going to happen like straight away. What it is saying is that's around the corner, and when it happens, it's going to be good. Alright, so I can't tell you it'll be this year. I think it'll be much more likely to be next year, when you actually be able to have face-to-face communication with this individual. But I'm certainly not ruling out some form of distance communication in the meantime. Okay, so this is going to be quite a good opportunity for you further on down the line. Okay, Sapawamba has got a relationship with an individual called Johnny. Well, let's see what's going on here. You've explained to me some of your concerns and some of your problems there, so essentially you want to see basically what's going on. Yes, human relationships are very complex and very difficult, so, there is a reason for me to be doing this for you today. Let's have a quick look. As is traditional, I am shuffling like a lunatic whilst I'm talking to you right now, so I'll just see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest that are going to appear with this particular relationship. Okay, number one, is it just a physical attraction? No, I don't think so. Your here and now signs is talking about a sense of him enjoying the companionship and benefits you provide just through being there. No, he's not very good at talking about that. You're hesitant. He is hesitant as well, because he doesn't know how to express what is really, really important as far as the relationship is concerned. He's not showing very strong mercurial signs. Now, the meaning there is that he's not very good at expressing himself, communicating in great detail. The sensations on his side of the reading is talking about a successful bond, yes, but he's also afraid of treachery, because he's also been hurt in the past. He's got his own little issues that he's got to try and get beyond and get through. I don't know whether he's the kind of individual who thinks that the physical activity is somehow an expression of love in its own right, and I think that could be part of it, but it's not the whole picture, so to speak, okay? So I don't think he is just interested in you physically, but I think he's trying to express his love to you maybe in physical terms, because he doesn't quite have the emotional articulateness, so to speak, to try and move things on to another level without that kind of like dimension. Now, progression into the future with this one particular individual, it's not negative. I mean, on your side of things, you want him to be a stable factor in your life. He's there now, but he's not saying anything too much. So you want to know how he really feels. I think he's really satisfied with you, which is great. And progression into the future, we do actually have more mercurial signs further on down the line, because in this particular relationship, it is that mercurial aspect, that aspect of explanation, communication, participation, activity, doing the next right thing for you, which is what is most important to come next, okay? And even in your short-term future, there's a bit of an allusion there, or a reference to some extra dimension of benefits which he is about to provide. Do I see this as a bad relationship? I don't see it as a good relationship in the here and now, because you've got little bits missing, okay? All those little important bits which you've been after all this time haven't really come to the fore. But from his point of view, he feels that he is going to be best placed to actually do you some good, do the relationship some good with the passage of time moving into the future. So I think that this is still very early days, and I think this is one of the reasons why he's hesitant. Also, there's one other negative, and that is that when you start to get comfortable in a relationship, you know, it's like a groove on a record. You want to carry on wearing through the same path time and time and time again. And I think that's part of what he's been thinking about, really. He's got himself into a stable position, so he doesn't have to do all that much in the way of thinking. I suppose I'm the same with my morning routine, because I always have my breakfast in a certain order, and with my tea, then, my first cigarette of the day, then 5 minutes watching the news. I've got into a routine of that, so I basically do it without thinking, but you know what I mean? And sometimes people do that in a relationship, until such time as it is made more apparent to that individual that they need to do something more. Now, From your side of things, I think you need to spend a bit of time with him around the breakfast table with a nice cup of tea, talking about the things which you need him to provide. Now, it's going to be a hard conversation. He's going to get defensive, but he won't be defensive forever. Okay? So there's still more opportunities there for you. 1983, H. Dan is curious about Japan. Alright, this is an individual who's felt a very strong affinity with Japan and would like to actually go there, absorb some more of the culture, find out more, and actually have have an opportunity to help people in that part of the world. All I can do is tell you what I can see. Okay, that's my job. Everything else will be up to yourself, making the right decisions and taking the right steps so that you can actually get to where you want to go. Bear that in mind. But here we go, shuffling like a lunatic, as is traditional. After a while, of doing this every single day, you get quite good at shuffling. I sometimes do these parties and entertainment events, and I go out there and I hand them the Book of Thoth Tarot, or I hand them like the Celtic Tarot, and they say, "Oh, I'm terrible, those cards are so big, I'm going to drop the cards." It doesn't matter. Alright, and if anyone's turning around to you and saying it's unlucky if you drop a card, you can tell them from me to shut up, okay? Quite simply, tell them shush. It's not true. There's no evidence to suggest that if you drop a tarot card that there's going to be some bad luck coming your way, so be aware of that. Some people have actually made some requests saying, what if I drop cards? Is there going to be some bad karma or something? No, there is not. Do not worry. It's not good for you to be concerned about these things, alright? Okay. The only bad luck is that if you drop your card and something nasty will end up on your cards. That's all. That's the only bad luck you get, really. Okay, I'm not getting massive signs relating to travel in the short-term future for you. The sense of strong desire is definitely there and apparent in the here and now part of the reading. Very, 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 very much so. Just as I was saying earlier on, it's a question of removing the things from your life which is holding you back from connecting with Japan and actually having some fun and participating in that culture in whatever way. Okay, so essentially the happiness is there, the sense of it's going to happen, the anticipation is there. As far as will you ever do it, yes, but I get the feeling that you've got so many other skittles to get into line that it can't happen straight away. I want to be able to turn around to you and say, yep, next flight out, tomorrow morning, it's going to happen that way. But that's not the message that I'm getting here, okay? The feelings I've got is that it's going to occur. Now, as far as when it happens, what's it going to be like? Strong sense of joy, celebration, satisfaction, and also something from the heart. Now, when I say something from the heart, I think in some ways you may even be biting off more than you can chew. The reason I say that is because it appears that you've got tasks to do, you've got things to actually achieve, okay, real, big things to achieve, and it may come clear to you that this, drive to get to Japan and do something with Japan and about Japan is part of a bigger picture, and you may find yourself being drawn into some form of charity. Okay? Okay, honey bunny, let's first and foremost have a look at your financial situation after the split, and then we'll have a look at your opportunities to move to that certain particular location so you can do that extra aspect of your career, shall we? One stage at a time. Here we go. Okay, trying to sort yourself out financially during a short-term future is going to be pretty hard for you. It's looking difficult. It's feeling difficult because you've obviously had something big happening, which is rather traumatic, and it's causing little ripples into different areas of your life. The feeling is yes, you're going to be able to claw yourself back, but that's not immediately. You want to be able to move over to LA and get that sorted out. Which I think that you will be able to achieve, but essentially, is that happening right now? No. Is this something which your nature and your character will draw you towards so that you can actually achieve? Bottom line is, I think so. Most of the rest of the signs are talking about material gain and financial stability occurring for you predominantly as a result of your own effort and hard work, passion, determination, drive, and everything else that makes you quite the cool person that you are, as well as a strong sense of affection towards this particular career, this particular theatrical career. So keep that dream alive, be practical about the here and now, and get that arranged. Find extra ways of supporting yourself whilst you're getting the next dimension of your career sorted out. And try and do this in a sensible, progressive manner. Yes, you have the capacity to try and sort out the financial situation and the ability to be able to get what you require from this particular individual during this particular time. So, honey bunny, I am seeing good things for you. I feel for you that you're in a difficult situation at the moment, but the energy, as far as I'm seeing it, is talking about progression and getting somewhere and doing some good for yourself, so essentially it's looking okay. Okay. We have an individual who identifies themselves as Simon, who is very curious about his longer-term career. See what's coming through for you. Chronological spread. Here we go. Right. Okay, Simon, you've already expressed to me some of the problems you've got going on at the moment, and basically the problems with the boss, the fact it's an unpleasant environment to be in. Some of that energy is coming through here, but not completely. Now, I know this is only like the second job you've ever had, and so I can understand that you are concerned about where things are going to go in the long term. You don't want to have to waste your time. But only some of the energy of powerlessness was coming through in this particular reading. A lot of it is much more to do with needing to change internally to change the way that you are. Some of the negativity which you're being given is actually there to help you to grow into this particular variety of job. So although it is negative and it is unhappy for you, the reading is suggesting that some of this unpleasantness I think you're going to have to take for the moment, because it is doing you some good. It's helping to sculpt your character well. Yes, you're going to have to, with the passage of time, filter out the things which are not really helping you intellectually and emotionally, and to definitely focus in much more upon the tasks that you are doing, which is actually stimulating you intellectually, that which connects to your education, and that which could also be the foundation for further work and development. You don't have to do that yet, but the Death card is talking about internal transformation. So Simon, my recommendation to you is to stay where you are at the moment, alright? Because I don't feel you are financially threatened. Now, this is a recession anyway, and so if you've got work in the here and now, then that's a good thing. I often recommend to people that if you are unhappy, then whether you choose to move on or not, and this is whether you choose to move on or not, okay, do research the market so you can work out how your job is actually doing for your longer term future. I know trying to move from a junior role to a more senior role can in fact be quite difficult, but it has to happen with the passage of time, and it's only with longevity within a job that you actually do well. Okay, you've got to stay in a job for a fair period of time for it to look good on your CV or resume, okay, and for you to be regarded as someone who's quite right for the longer term future within the next big company. There are in fact some more study signs coming your way. Plenty of signs of financial attainment in the longer term future, but at the moment, as is mentioned in the Chariot card, yes, it is a bit of a struggle and a bit of a fight to get the victory that you're after. But as I say, your career appears to be quite well placed for you to be able to do good later on down the line. So stay where you are now, find out more about the market, think tactically about where you want to go next and how you want to be able to make your life occur. Alright, because that's what really, really matters in a big way. Okay, a lady who wants to be known as, for reasons outside of my understanding, is curious about her relationship, or indeed her relationship with her ex. She wants to get back involved with him, but they haven't really spoken properly for about 3 months. There's been some communication, but not necessarily as much as there should be if you want to actually take a relationship and make it work out and work out right. As is traditional, it's just my job to tell you what I can see here. Okay, I'm going to have to give you some bad news here. because, you know, I have to do that once in a while. My job is just to say what I can see. And if what I'm seeing here is not happiness, joy, you know, total loving unity and the rest of it, then basically I've just got to be honest with what I'm seeing. Alright, that's the way I roll, okay? Forces between the two of you. This is not just in the here and now, I feel. This is spreading on through the future. Conflicts. You're very different people. Alright? And the things which caused the original split, they're still with you. And I think in some ways it's getting worse. Has his behaviour gone downhill? Is he still seeing other people? Okay. What is it that he's doing which is quite so irresponsible, financially irresponsible? Is he actually doing something to hurt himself in that particular respect? I'm seeing signs here which is suggesting literally disappointment, but also a feeling of instability. He seems to be living, I mean, this is a gentleman who's like getting on in years now. He's older than me. But yet he's moving from one job to another, to another, to another. He's not really settling down. He's like having like 3 or 4 jobs in a year now, okay? So he's not really doing all that much in the way of good for yourself. Now, it may be very painful right now, but this is not the quality of individual who's actually right for you right now. He's not thinking and behaving the way a grown-up would. Is he drinking? Is he taking drugs? What is it that's making him quite so erratic? Alright, and making his behaviour quite so... It's not looking good. Does he have the capacity to change? We've all got the capacity to change, but the question is, will he? Now, you briefly mentioned some of the history of the relationship, and it doesn't seem all that nice. I mean, the feeling that I'm getting associated with this is that it's going to be the same as it was before, but there's going to be some bad things in there as well. I am seriously not recommending that you carry on pursuing this particular relationship. Seriously. So you got to get that right. I know your head's been telling you one thing, your heart's been telling you another. But listen to the head. Alright? The head is important. You've got a head for a reason, if you get my drift, okay? And it'd be worthwhile thinking about that message and being aware that things aren't always, you know, sweetness and light when it comes to relationships. What we all want is for everybody to change. Everyone who's ever done something wrong to sort of like suddenly grow up, bam, the moment where we want them to. But in reality, everyone is a growing, developing, organic individual. I used to be quite a bad man when I was young, okay? I did a lot of things that were wrong. But I did manage to change. But it took me a long time. But I got to the position now whereby I am where I am now. And I'm looking back over the negative stuff of the past. And I'm learning to see positives in it. But in this particular case between yourself and him, I think he's getting worse, not better. This is someone who is starting in the music industry. There's a lot of career questions coming through all of a sudden. Must be something in the air or something in the water. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Yeah. I think you're going to make it. And I think you're going to make it because I've got signs and feelings associated with some success around the corner. You've still got a lot to learn, but you're still learning it. I'm just getting this like mental impression of you staying up late at night on the internet trying to learn as much as you can about how to design things, different styles of music, and what it is you could create, basically. The feeling associated with that is very driven, but you also seriously shouldn't cut out of your life all of the other important aspects which is there to help you, basically. So make sure you keep your character balanced and you keep yourself mentally healthy, okay? But the reading is definitely suggesting that you've got places to go, you've got things to achieve, and you can basically get there. And just maintain that willpower, know that victory is around the corner for you, and try and get some pleasure even from the stress that you're going through. As far as being recognized as a musician, you're going to have that reasonably soon. As far as being recognized commercially speaking, that's another issue. Okay, and I think you've got to be able to get that balance just right and that understanding just right. Okay? Okay, those are all the readings that we're going to be doing for today. Do feel free to submit your request. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your inquiry is. I'm doing this as close to live entertainment as you can get here on the internet, so essentially what you're getting is an impression as to what it would be like if you were to call me on Keen.com, contact me on LivePerson, or whether you're to get yourself like an email reading via myself as well. And don't forget to try and find me on Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to put up an advert here on the internet so that you'll know when that's going to be, but if you can, of course, follow and subscribe to my Nick Dutch Tarot Blog Talk Radio account. That would be cool. And also likewise with my blogtv.com/people/Nick Dutch Tarot account as well, because that's just a great laugh. That's more like a social time, and it's much more informal. It'll be much more formalized when we're doing it over the radio, so to speak, over the delightful internet radio. Alright, remember, those of you who haven't actually voted for me yet in the awards, links down there, make sure you use it, and I will definitely look forward to, getting myself recognized, because, I put a lot of work into these tarot shows. I put a lot of work into all the videos I've done over on the internet over the past 3.5 years, or 3.25 years, whatever it was, and, it would be good to get some kind of recognition for the hard work and dedication I've put in to this industry over 5 years, and also all the time I spent entertaining you, giving you insight, information, education, and basically making everybody out there feel totally wonderful. Make sure you've subscribed. Don't forget to rate and comment. But any email requests, any reading requests, have to be via the email account nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Not in the comment section, okay? Yes, I will still accept a few via the private messages service on YouTube, but essentially let's try and keep it down to the email address. Right, I will look forward to speaking to each and every single one of you very, very soon. Good fortune, God and or Goddess and or none of the above bless. Bye for now.